I am Chief Communications Officer here at Grambling State University and excited to welcome Governor Edwards, our LED partners, and all here to today's event. Just to give you an idea of how we'll get started today, you won't see me in a few. We're going to start with a prayer by Dr. Roy Bedford. Then we'll have remarks from one of our students, Jared Richards, and one of our faculty members, Yemia Loretti, and then President Gallot will introduce today's MOU and set the agenda for the other officials we're going to hear from today. So again, thank you all for your attendance. If you need any follow-up in terms of media, email us at mediarelations@gram.edu. We'll have footage and comments available there. Also, you can view the press release in about 17 minutes at gram.edu/news. Thank you.
Let us pray. O wise and merciful Creator, I give to you the voyage of this day, that to be which is already yours, adding to it our rejoicing, for we are thankful for the opportunities that are before us. Thank you for Governor John Bel Edwards and those who are affiliated with the Louisiana Economic Development. Thank you for President Gallot, the administrators, faculty, staff, students, alums, and friends of this institution. Let the winds fill our sails as we continue on our voyage to greater heights. Amen. Amen.
Good morning. On behalf of the student body here, welcome to Grambling State University, the place where everybody is somebody. To President Gallot, Governor Edwards, and Commissioner Reed, and all of you who are supporting our growth, thank you. To Secretary Pierson, I want to say a very special thank you to you and your team at LED for your growing investment here and on our campus through support like the MOU we acknowledge today. You are making sure that the great legacy I am a part of here at Grambling State University can continue. As a student in computer science, I sit in the classrooms that were once the learning ground for CIOs and entrepreneurs like Alana Robinson, who went on to lead technology at IBM, and Sarah Lee. I get to learn from the professionals like Dr. Reddy, who is helping grow our cybersecurity degree here on campus, while he works with leaders across the state. As I have traveled participating in technology competitions like the Bio Classic BizTech Challenge and interning at CLICO, I have learned that there's enormous amount of opportunity available to those who have the skills to succeed. This MOU will provide opportunities for more of my classmates and future Gramblingites to get the experiences we know make a difference in an interview and on the job. While I'm a little sad that I will graduate before cybersecurity program kicks off, I'm excited to know that those who will follow me have support and is continuing to grow. Thank you all again for your support, and for those of you who are hiring in December, I'll be happy to talk after today's event. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning. Dr. Reddy from Grambling State University, Department of Computer Science. Okay, on behalf of the talented and dedicated faculty, we welcome to the Grambling. So we want to say some thank you for all the support from the governor, administrators, and everybody. I have pleasure to serving the statewide commission on cybersecurity. So on part of the work, I get connect with our corporates, government partners, and seek the opportunity for all our students to serve the students. As we are growing in our connections, there is thriving market for professionals who keep our data organizations safe. We know that market will be filled with universities and corporate partners who remain on the cutting edge of training and education. I am proud to say that Grambling State is one of those well-equipped educational partners. President Gallot, Dr. Smiley, and Dr. Henderson It is our honor to be chosen to help lead our university as we continue growing this innovative space. To our students, thank you for choosing Grambling State University. We are excited to serve you and to prepare you for the workforce. I sincerely appreciate the opportunity to teach in the groundbreaking program, and we are opening the program in the fall, and this is the Louisiana's first bachelor's degree in cyber security. And we are happy to serve the historical launch and workforce. And beyond that, I want to say thank you for all administrators and Governor particularly, and Louisiana Board of Regents, and Dr. Smiley, and Dr. Duhan, not here, Dr. White is somewhere here, and because everybody supported me to complete this work, not alone. So I'm happy to thank you, everyone, to help me to come into this point. I think we can do much better to serve the students. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. Good morning to everyone, our students, faculty, staff, and those leaders who have joined us here today for this very special announcement. I want to begin by recognizing those who are seated behind me, our student leaders, including our Student Government Association, Student Technology Committee, the Student Leadership Initiative, and Honors College students. If you would stand, please, and be recognized. I'm sorry, Eddie Robinson's just a little bit in front of him. We're pulling double duty here today because we've got HBCU Advisory Council meeting in the Doris Robinson room next to us. So I apologize for the cramped space, but we thought that this would be a great place to have this announcement. We certainly want to recognize all of our faculty and administrators who have joined us here today. A special welcome to my boss, the president of the University of Louisiana System, Dr. Jim Henderson. Of course, we welcome the governor, who is a very frequent visitor to Grambling State University. And Governor, we appreciate you and your support so much. I'd also like to, in her absence, give acknowledgement to Dr. Kim Hunter-Reed, who was initially planning to be here, but she's at another event at LSU Shreveport. But in her stead, we have Mr. Marty Chabert, who is the chairman of the Board of Regents. Marty, thank you so much for getting up early and making your way up here and calling me early along the way. I'm up early anyway. And of course, also Mr. Randy Ewing, who is also a member of the Board of Regents. I couldn't get him to sit up here, but he's standing there in the back, our former senator and very avid supporter of Grambling on the Board of Regents. Secretary Don Pierson, who's here and you will hear from shortly, as well as Mandy Mitchell from his office. Thank you all. And who am I forgetting from? Susan, yes, Susan from Economic Development as well. It was a senior moment, Ms. Williams, my 7th grade teacher. And Susan and I were in Bossier City yesterday together at the academic summit. And I'd also like to recognize Senator Wesley Bishop, who is here. I know his Southern supporters will be glad to know he was at the Eddie Robinson Museum on the campus of Grambling State University. You know, as president, I certainly have an awesome responsibility and actually a privilege of working with dynamic students who help to create a new era of innovation that will keep Grambling State University on the map and a leader in our state and in our country, and quite frankly, in our world. Recently, one of our students, one of our student athletes, Shakila Hill, who you may know for her not one, but two quadruple doubles, was on camera, and she summed up our university better than almost anyone I can think of. When asked how she felt about Grambling, she said, "Grambling is everything." Now, as president, I know that 500,000 views of her comments is publicity that would be very difficult to purchase, but certainly it can be earned. And through progress like our digital library, our leaders on campus and supporters across the state are helping us to earn it. When we think about our new degree in cybersecurity and the improvements in our facilities, we are earning it. When you think about our $173 million economic impact, we're earning it. Many times by working hard and working hand in hand with our CVB, IBM, banking partners, CenturyLink, General Dynamics, and others, it makes all of this possible. And when we consider new major events like the $1 million NAIA Championship, they help attract. We are poised to keep showing why Grambling is everything. Before they come, again, I would like to thank Governor Edwards and Commissioner Reed and Secretary Pierson and Dr. Henderson and all the many others who have consistently been there supporting us 100% along the way. And again, I cannot say thank you enough. Your support is what keeps us achieving within our state and certainly among our peers in the HBCU space. So with that, I will turn it over to Secretary Pierson, who will then be followed by Dr. Henderson and our Honorable Governor, my friend, John Bel Edwards. Thank you.
Thank you, President Gallot, and also whoever picked out the location to have this opportunity to make this announcement today did an outstanding job. If you get the lighting just right, you can stand in the shadow of Coach Robinson. What an honor. And that's what we're here to do today. We're here to recognize and celebrate a strong partnership and also a new milestone along that pathway, bringing yet another milestone to this great partnership that we have in our state and with economic development with Grambling. We live in an age of acceleration. Things are changing very, very rapidly. Technology is dominant across so many fields, whether it's medical, manufacturing, all the code writing that goes into improving so many facets of this modern world, and more to come, things that are going to amaze us. Everything from driverless cars to artificial intelligence are continuing to rapidly change the landscape. And so for our state, for our people to compete on this stage, it's so essential that we're driving the IT solutions on our campuses across our state. It hasn't always been the case that economic development has enjoyed such a strong partnership. Certainly with President Gallot, and it's great to be here with you in North Louisiana. We go way back on that. But it's not uncommon at all in my daily activities, to be talking to Dr. Jim Richardson, to be talking to Dr. King Alexander with LSU, to be talking to Dr. Belton with Southern, Senator Bishop. We're staying in touch. And also with Monty Sullivan that heads up our community college system. There's a strong integration and requirement that we work together, because economic development today is dominated by workforce, and workforce is dominated by talent. And we have to have the pipeline that produces that talent to compete and win and grow our economy. We're fortunate to have a governor that understands that, encourages that, supports that, and gives us the tools that we need to forge these strong partnerships with companies that are going to provide well-paying jobs for the graduates that come out of these programs. So what better place to invest in Louisiana than in our people? And that's what we're here to acknowledge today. I'd like to tell you that I did the heavy lifting here but Assistant Secretary Mandy Mitchell, Susie Showen of our Fast Start program. I'd like to brag about it because for 9 years in a row, and Coach Robinson would be proud, we've won the Super Bowl for workforce development training. And that's quite an accomplishment, and not one that you aim at with a stationary target. It's growing, it's moving, technology, and keeping the workforce strong. So the elements that we do to participate with companies that translate through our Fast Start program set us apart and help us win and help us grow our economy. And so our Fast Start program is a very important element of that, and it's made possible by the governor's support and certainly the funding that's provided through the legislature. So today, we're here to celebrate with President Gallot, all of you, and thank you for coming out for this very special moment.
Well, Secretary Pierson, thank you very much for being here. And if you can't tell, there's a theme emerging today, and that theme is leadership, and how appropriate it is for our student leaders to be sitting in here today to witness this. Governor, I can tell you that the students that graduate from Grambling are prepared for leadership. I was here at a graduation not too long ago, and the great Dr. Freddie Haynes, one of the great orators of his generation or any generation, gave the commencement address, but he was followed by a student leader, the valedictorian, Prentice Smiley. And as I drove away, my thoughts were as consumed with Prentice and the faces of the students that came across the stage as I was with Dr. Haynes' words. They are preparing students for the next generation here at Grambling. When you think about the renaissance that's occurring at this university, you have to give a lot of credit to one of the finest university leaders in the country, in Rick Gallot. We are blessed, the University of Louisiana system. It was his vision that created this cyber program, and his tenacity that got that cyber program through the bureaucracy and got it in place where it rightly belongs on the I-20 technology corridor right here in Grambling, Louisiana. And so Rick, we thank you for that. We thank you for having the vision to create the most technologically advanced learning commons. That's the newest euphemism for libraries. That the construction documents will be opened about 30 days from today. The bids will be opened in June, and hopefully we'll be breaking ground in August for a learning resource center that will shape this university and be a model for colleges and universities around the country for what a modern library should look like. And the reason that we're talking about program development and we're talking about preparing students for the 21st century and the future of work is we're not talking about responding to the latest budget cut. You see, we have another fine leader that's in the room today. And after a decade of the deepest budget cuts to higher education in our nation's history, they stopped. And we're enjoying the second year of stable funding for talent development in higher education in the state of Louisiana. And that's why I've been on 7 campuses in the last week, and the energy you feel is palpable because you're witnessing in the faces of students that they know they have a state that's focused on their development and on their learning. That doesn't happen without leadership. But as he was fighting to keep us stable, he kept saying, stable is insufficient. We've got to find ways to reinvest. And today is a perfect, tangible example of that reinvestment of the learning prospect that's going to prepare Louisiana to be competitive in the 21st century. And of course, the leader that I'm talking about is no stranger to any of us here. He has led Louisiana to the highest levels of employment in our state's history. He has overcome innumerable challenges. He has brought together people from all different backgrounds, from every political ideology, and focused them on the future of our state. I don't know if there's any more noble role for a governor to play. And so without further ado, please join me in welcoming our governor, the Honorable John Bel Edwards.
Good morning. Thank you. Dr. Henderson, thank you for the introduction, and that was very kind of you. more than that, thank you for your leadership at the University of Louisiana system. And I want to thank President Gallot, my longtime friend, for welcoming me here and for the wonderful work that you're doing and the role that your university is playing in advancing our state. Today, and really everything we do, is about these young people that are behind me and all the students across the state of Louisiana that they represent. Everything that we're trying to do is to increase opportunity and prosperity in our state. Because there is no reason why someone should ever feel like they need to leave our state to get a great education, to find a good job, or to have a rewarding career. And so what we're talking about today is about making that vision a reality. And that's why I'm so proud to be here with you. I want to thank all the officials who are here today, including Senator Wesley Bishop, who comes from New Orleans and is a big Suno guy, but we love Suno too, don't we? Absolutely. And we have some other wonderful leaders here today. Representing the Board of Regents is the chair of the Board of Regents, who is Marty Chabert. Thank you, Marty, for being here. Really appreciate that. Of course, we have our LED officials, Don and Mandy and Susan, and so many others here. We even have Mrs. Williams here today. Thank you very much, Ms. Williams, for coming out today. And no, I'm not talking about Alicia. But it's good to have Alicia here too. I think this is a fitting place to do this because I'm looking up here and I see where Coach Robinson was born in 1919, and if you look closer, it was February the 13th of 1919. So tomorrow will mark the 100th birthday of Coach Eddie Robinson. Now that's special. And I would think that he would be especially proud of this university right now. To know that under President Gallot's leadership, you are sweeping the HBCU Grow Awards here. Things like, being recognized as the top HBCU campus in the country for leadership, for marketing, best website, innovation, and one that I especially like, being a veteran, military friendliness. These things don't just happen, people. They happen because of good, visionary, dedicated leadership and perseverance. And all of these accomplishments speak to Grambling's ability to lead, not only today, but importantly, for generations to come. And the role that Grambling and HBCUs will have in our state and across the country for generations to come. It's a tribute to leaders like Rick here at Grambling and Les Geis at Tech and Glenn Post, formerly at CenturyLink, Governor Kathleen Banco and others, that we have this I-20 cyber corridor. And by the way, it's not just a name that we've given it that doesn't mean anything. This is a real cyber corridor anchored by Barksdale Air Force Base, the National Cyber Research Park. We've got CenturyLink, we've got IBM, General Dynamics IT, campuses like Grambling, ULM, and Tech. I'm really proud of what's going on. And we talked about this cyber degree, cybersecurity degree that will launch this fall. The first in the state of Louisiana, one of the first in the country. Next door at Louisiana Tech, we have the only four-year degree program for cyber engineering in the country. So just think about what we are doing here in Louisiana, but particularly along the I-20 corridor. And to assist with this, I'm proud that Grambling State is creating a 50,000 square foot digital library that will become the first digital library at an HBCU institution in the United States of America. Thank you. There will be over 500 student computer stations and over 17,000 square feet of dedicated study space. And I am announcing that all of the funding necessary for the completion of this library will be made available in calendar year 2019. Rick's going to hold me to that, I promise you. More than ever, well-prepared students are the future of Louisiana. That's the key to opportunity and prosperity. That's what Don was talking about. That's the whole reason for this campus to be here, for all of our higher education. It is about workforce. If we want companies around the country and around the world to invest their dollars in Louisiana, we have to demonstrate to them that they will have a talented workforce, educated, trained, skilled, motivated people to fill the jobs. Because without that, they cannot be successful, and without success, you don't get the investment. So by investing in our students, we create that opportunity for them to be successful here in Louisiana, so that as a state, we can be successful. And all of the families and communities that make up our state can be successful. I was very pleased recently. I had the opportunity to tour CGI in Lafayette, and I bumped into young graduates from Grambling State University. I then go to DXC Technology in New Orleans on Poydras Street, and I bump into Grambling State University employees. And everywhere I go, I'm seeing that young people. And by the way, some of these people are not so young, because we now have opportunities in Louisiana they didn't have when they graduated from college 10, 20, and 30 years ago, and they went off to pursue their dreams. They're now coming home to work in the high-tech sector. This is what success feels like. This is what it looks like, and so we're on a much better path. Some of you may not know it, but I'm the co-chair of the National Governors Association Resource Center for State Cybersecurity. Now that's a mouthful, but we just call it the Cybersecurity Committee. And every day, state governments fend off millions of cyber attacks aimed at our networks, just like private industry does, just like the Defense Department does, and so forth. Cyberspace is the battleground for the 21st century. And it's one that most people don't understand, because you can't really see it. And all the war movies you grew up with, don't really depict the cyber threat. But I want Louisiana to be a national leader. And by the way, we are a national leader and a global leader in providing the cybersecurity that's going to protect our future. Not just Louisiana's future, but the nation's future. So along with the National Governors Association, I will host a National Cybersecurity Summit this May. And it's actually going to be held in the Bossier-Shreveport area, because I want the country to see what's happening along I-20 in the state of Louisiana as it relates to cybersecurity. So we're going to be bringing folks from all 50 states, some foreign countries, some business, folks from the private sector, folks from academia, folks from the military, to North Louisiana to take a look at what we're doing. And you best believe we are going to feature prominently the role that our universities are playing in this. So I want to thank you again, Rick, for your leadership. I hope that you all will be able to join us. You know, Dr. Reddy told us a little while ago, he actually serves on the Louisiana Cybersecurity Commission that I appointed to address this great challenge of the future, but he talked about what's happening here at Grambling State University and how our students are going to be benefited from it. You know, with your focus on cybersecurity, computer science, and computer information system, Grambling is poised to become a true technology leader in the 21st century. As our administration, the legislature, and the Board of Regents are partnering with you to create this fabulous digital library, I'm very happy to announce that the memorandum of understanding that we are going to sign today, and I suspect that's what's going to happen right over here, with President Gallot on the one hand, and LED represented by Secretary Pierson on the other, will be a blueprint for your technology success. This will be a 4-year infusion of $1.2 million for mission-critical programs here at Grambling State University to create partnerships and to prepare the Grambling State University student body by working with LED and LED Fast Start. And I know this was mentioned, but I think it bears saying again, because the folks at LED do a great job. For 9 years running, LED's Fast Start program has been rated the #1 workforce development program in the United States of America. That's who you're partnering with, Rick, up here. And so everybody needs to know about that success, about that pedigree. But by working with LED and LED Fast Start, and by creating a new Technology Advisory Council, Grambling will build partnerships with the private sector that ensure that your students are graduating with cutting-edge skills. And I want to thank Don for his leadership at the Department of Economic Development here in North Louisiana, but all over our great state. You know, we're going to boost the number of computer science and cybersecurity graduates, and we're going to enhance the quality of their skills through this MOU. We will literally provide foundational technology skills for every one of the over 4,000 students on this campus. And so why here? Why at an HBCU? I'll just give you a couple of numbers. Nationwide, about 20% of all African Americans who graduate from college graduate from an HBCU. But HBCUs make up only about 5% of our colleges. So think about that. 25% of African American STEM graduates come from HBCUs. And so it is incredibly important that we invest in our HBCUs, that we strengthen the role that they play, because otherwise you leave segments of our community out. And life is too important, and it is too short to ever do that. And so I'm happy to be here. I'm looking forward to joining President Gallot and Secretary Pierson as they sign these historic documents, this MOU, because it represents far more than the funds that will be provided. It represents a strategic investment, a new vision for our state and for HBCUs and for cybersecurity. We want people to be successful. This is a tangible step to make sure that more of our students have the opportunity to be successful. And when we give them the opportunity, I have no doubt they will rise to the challenge and they will be successful. So I want to thank you for joining me here today. I want you to know I'll stay on campus for lunch in just a moment, because I've had a couple of meals here at Grambling, and they're always very good, for the HBCU Advisory Council that's going to be having lunch next door. And I want to tell you how good it is just to be back on the campus of Grambling State University. And I'm excited about the enthusiasm that we have here at Grambling, but really the enthusiasm, the excitement we have all over the state of Louisiana around higher education. Dr. Henderson mentioned this a while ago. You know, we went a long time where we were leading the nation in funding cuts to higher education, putting more of the burden on our students. Those days are over. I think the faculty, staff are feeling more appreciated these days. So morale is better. And we are certainly headed in a much better direction. We're on a much better path in Louisiana. But it's been a challenging period to get us there. But I'm excited that we're there, and I'm even more excited about what will happen tomorrow. Continuing to rely upon and get the benefits of the visionary leadership of people like Rick Gallot and others across the higher education field. So thank you for joining me. I'm going to ask that you share my enthusiasm for the state of Louisiana, for Grambling State University, and for our young people. And I would encourage you to offer up your prayers, join them to mine for our country and for our state, so that we can be all that we should be for our kids and our grandkids. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
So now we will ask Governor Edwards, Secretary Pierson, and President Gallot to join us over here to my left for the signing of the MOU, and we'll take just a few questions. And because they have home court advantage, I believe we're going to direct the first question to the Gramblingite here, and then other media will be allowed to ask questions of the group here. So, gentlemen, if you could. All right. Okay. We will let you grab a few signatures there. There should be a spot for each of you.
has to be in triplicate, right? Speaking of triplicate, what is a quadruple double? Is that points, rebounds, assists, and steals? That's pretty good. That's really good.
All right, and I'm looking for Amaya from the Grambling Night. Avery, awesome. So we'll offer you the first question here.
Hi, Avery Beck with the Grambling Night. Was it a push from the school or the state to get improved technology?
Well, I think it's been a combined effort. It's one of those times where we're all pushing in the same direction and find out that there are opportunities for us to partner in doing this. And certainly as a member of the University of Louisiana system, it fits in line with the strategic initiatives that we've developed as a system. And then, of course, you know, the governor has been incredibly supportive of everything that we have attempted to do here, and with LED as well. So it's all of us looking at the future and knowing that we're much stronger when we work together.
The other thing that I think bears mentioning here is that the folks at Grambling have always looked at challenges really as disguised opportunities. So when I was on campus in 2016, we were visiting the library, which is a beautiful building, but with all of the flood damage and the problems associated with it, we knew we had to commit to a new library. Well, the visionary leadership here at Grambling said, well, we don't want the library of last century. We want a library for today. And so that's how all the technology was brought to bear in the library that we're going to build. And so that's another aspect of this that I think we need to be aware of. And in that way, Grambling State University is leading the way for the state, because this is not the only university that needs a new library. And libraries are going to be built, and I will suspect that you're going to see people coming from all over the state to go to this library once it's completed, so they can see what theirs needs to look like, whether it's LSU or Southern or whoever. They're going to be coming to Grambling.
Make sure the headline reads, Governor commits to full funding in 2019 of the library. Okay?
And you heard me in my remarks speak about the importance of education, higher education, and the communication that goes on. And certainly as we have these conversations across the state and here on this campus, we want to identify the needs and the places that we can make a difference. And so it's through those conversations that we were able to forge this idea, and then certainly to have the support of the governor.
We've got time to take one more, and we'll do some interviews after. So Mr. Black, if you could.
All right, so this is for everybody. Talk about the longevity after the 4 years, the dedication into the cybersecurity program, especially being on the I-20 corridor, talking about technology. What's the long-term vision after the 4 years?
Well, first of all, cybersecurity is not just a threat for today. It is the threat going forward, and I suspect that it will be a never-ending threat. And so this is not a short-term commitment. This is an effort to jumpstart something that is going to be here at Grambling, but really across this entire corridor and across the state for generations to come. But you got to start somewhere, and that's what this represents, is getting started. And in fact, they've already been started here. I told you, when I go around the state and I'm looking at people who are holding high-tech computer-related jobs, I bump into Grambling graduates everywhere I go. So it's not like that Grambling hasn't been doing something, but this is a larger effort that's, I think, more focused on cyber, and so this isn't going to go away. Now, whether we have to see whether once we stand this program up, if it becomes self-sufficient and so forth going forward, which hopefully it will, and then maybe the next time we're up here, we're not doing the same thing again, but we're doing something new that will be a companion program for the cyber security degree.
And that's exactly where we're positioned. You heard me talk about fast start. You heard me talking about that we don't continue to shoot at a stationary target. Technology is advancing. When we talk to DXC and
and say, how do we train for the jobs that are over the horizon, the jobs of 5 years from now? They say, we can't tell you what the jobs of 5 years from now absolutely look like. So this will be an evolving opportunity. Fast Start will keep us on the cutting edge of what the required skill sets are, what the new innovations are, and we'll make sure that Grambling's a part of that very important effort.
And again, in keeping with the vision that Dr. Henderson has set forth for the University of Louisiana system, that we are preparing students to be prepared for jobs that don't yet exist, those of the year 2030 and beyond. And so having this cybersecurity program, again, with Dr. Reddy's vision and hard work, as well as leveraging, one of the things that we did was to leverage our Title III funds to invest almost $2 million just in the last 2 years alone in our computer labs and our computer classrooms, so that our students would have state-of-the-art environments in which to pursue this ever-emerging field of study. So we feel like, again, having all of us pushing in the same direction at the same time with that same goal in mind will absolutely have us as a leader, not just one of many, but a leader, as the first and only bachelor's degree in cybersecurity in the state of Louisiana, one of 13 nationally. That's a big deal. And again, we couldn't do it without the support of our partners and so many others, and especially our students who are really just pushing us to get this going. So we're really excited about it.
And I'm gonna add something to that, and I know we're gonna get to some individual interviews. But it's still important for universities to teach young people what they need to know. But that is less important today than teaching young people how to think and how to learn, because it is impossible to know today what they will need to know 5 and 10 years from now to be successful. And so teaching people how to think, how to learn, is more important than ever. And that's what we're doing across the country, in Louisiana, particularly here at Grambling State University. Second, and this bears mentioning, the average STEM job pays twice the average non-STEM job. And these jobs will be in demand going forward in ways that other jobs won't be. And so this is all about trying to find that recipe for success. That's what this MOU represents. And by the way, we're here at Grambling today. This won't be an effort that's confined to Grambling, obviously. This is going to be spread across the entire higher education landscape in Louisiana. And we need more females, and we need more minorities who are pursuing STEM degrees. And this is one way to make that happen. And by the way, the HBCU Advisory Council that's meeting here today, the first time it met, we established that, Wesley Bishop had a lot to do with that. The first time they met, they said, you know what, the number one thing we need to do is have a working group on workforce within the HBCUs and aligning our programs up with what the demands will be going forward so that our students are set up for success. This is a manifestation of that, which is why I'm so excited to be here, so that we're already following through on things that the HBCU Advisory Council just recently recommended.
And we are standing in between quite a few folks in lunch here, so I'm gonna leave it to President Gallot to close out in his own presidential way. And for those who need individual interviews, if you could just meet me on the right here, we'll get you coordinated. But thank you all for coming. President.
Grambling is everything. Grambling is the place where everybody is somebody. God bless you. Thank you for coming.
Dr. Rosner, how you doing?
babies outside. I know. Pardon me, dear heart. Sorry.
My man. How you doing, sweetie? All right.
Mr. B. Mr. B. Somebody kitchen, it's sliding down. It's sliding. I caught it just in time. Hey, how you doing? Okay.
You clean up pretty good. I know you used to it. I didn't think you would have recognized it.